Hi, I'm Paul Brodie. I'm here with Mitch. He's behind the camera, and this is my shop. Welcome. Our project today is a little bit different. I have a Rocky Mountain frame. It has a dent in the top tube. Can you see that? Not a huge dent, but it's definitely significant. We're going to take out the dent. We're going to make a tool to help with that. It's called a frame block. So this is an old frame block, and you can see that it's been well used. This was back in the days of Brodie bikes. It's got a piece missing out of it, and if you look, you can see an indent. I think what happened was someone held a frame on the down tube, and that's where the water bottle went. They obviously weren't being careful. Then they clamped it, and then they moved the frame, and it ripped off the wood. So I'm just going to grab out of the mill here. All these frame blocks here have been used out at the university, out in Framebuilding 101, and this is how I started out. This is hardwood. I don't know what kind of wood it is, but I've started this was ages ago, about a decade ago, and I'm going to hold this in the mill. We're going to use a boring bar to open up the hole to the right size, 1.25 inches. This is a boring bar. You've got a dial here. You use an Allen screw. It incrementally moves out the tool. I'm going to cut some cardboard. I'll have two pieces of cardboard here and here. What that does is to space it apart very, very slightly. I cut the hole to 1.25 inches. Then when I take out the cardboard, that allows, when you put the blocks in the vise, it allows you to clamp the tube. What's nice about the blocks is that you can hold it as hard as you want in the vise, and it won't squeeze the tube. It'll squeeze the tube, but it won't squash the tube. Let's go to the mill. I've got my cardboard cut. I got a piece of 1/4 inch flat bar here, so I'm going to put that down because I don't want this to rest on the bottom of the vise, because otherwise when the tool comes down and gets to the end, it can hit the vise. So if I space it up 1/4 inch, that should be good. And then I take out the bar. Boring bar in. So it's obviously way too big. So what I have to do now is to grab an Allen wrench, and I can bring that in. About an 1/8 inch cut. That should be good just to start with. So looking at this, I've got 76 thou to take off. So I got 10 thou up to the 0. So I go to the 0, and then if I go 66 thou, that's my 76. Okay, so we're out 1/2 thou on a wooden block. That's perfect. Take out the cardboard, and those are the blocks. So what I need to do now is to go off to the belt sander. Need to take a little file, take off the sharp edges, and put a hinge on. And then we have wooden blocks. Then we can work on the frame. Okay, we'll go outside and we'll use the belt sander, and we'll just round off the corners to make it nice. I got a piece of leather here, and I'm gonna mark an outline. I'll cut that out, mark some holes, and attach it. So one frame block. Last thing to do is to mark the size on it, so 1.25 inches. So now we can work on the frame. And the first thing I'm going to do is to scrape off some paint. got a small dent on this side too, so got hit a few times. If a tube gets hit, it obviously gets an indent, but here, right there, it's also raised up a little bit too, so that has to come down. We'll work on that. Okay. I was just thinking, I worked at Rocky Mountain from 84 to 86, and Derek Bailey was there. I was working alongside him. And he's the guy that showed me how to do this. So we'll take the frame block now and we'll put it right on the dent, like that. We'll hold it there. So I haven't clamped it super tight now, but what I'm going to do is to move the frame back and forth. And then you make it a little bit tighter. Too tight. And let's see what we got. So it looks like it's come out a little bit. Take a ruler and just see what's happening. Okay, you can see that? See how there's a high spot there? I think what I might want to do, because I can't squeeze any tighter, is to heat that up a little bit and take a body hammer and just tap it down just a tiny little bit. I'm putting flux on there now. Then I'm going to heat it up a little bit and do a little bit of a tap on the two high spots. So I got a little bit of a rock there, so that's the high spot right there. I got the torch a few inches away. I don't want hot heat on there. I just want a little bit of heat. And you'll also notice I'm not hitting straight down, I'm hitting a glancing blow. Okay, it's down. That's okay because I can fill it up with bronze, which is what I want to do. This one's high, right up on top it's high. I think what happened is it got a dent right on the other side as well. There we go. That's better. It's not rocking now. So carefully I'm going to fill in the dent. And you have to be careful because I think the butt of the tube, the top tube, probably ends right here. So I'm on the thin wall section here. So I do not want to overheat. So I'm holding the torch along the tube. I'm not holding it down like that. That would put too much heat on the tube. That's why I'm holding it at the angle that it is. So nice and easy, just melt a little bit in there. And I got to put a little extra on because I got to file it. So I'm going outside where the dent was just a little bit, maybe 1/16 of an inch. If you don't put enough on, then you have to go back and do it all over again, which is not the best thing for the tube. You just want to do one heat cycle, not two or three. Trying to make it nice and smooth too. I think that's good. I'm going to take a felt pen and I'm going to mark where the dent is, because once the flux goes on and you start to heat it up on a really small dent, it's hard to see, but the felt pen, it stays on even with the heat and the flux. So that's a little dent. I wasn't going to fix that dent, but Mitch thinks I should, so. There we go, it's starting to melt. Now wick it around. There we go. It turned out nice. Easy to fill a small dent than a really big one. So I want to go along. I don't want to do that. That's not good because I can make a gouge. Always want to go along. So let's see what happens on the other side. This will be interesting. So, what I'm seeing here is that I guess the dent went a lot farther than I suspected. So I see the ruler touching from here to here, and then it's actually low from here to here. So the tube probably also has a little bit of a bend as well. Not only a dent, but a bend. So we'll just see what happens here. I'll do some more filing. Maybe we'll add some more braze. I'm not sure right now. Okay, so it's back to the brazing, and I'm gonna have to add quite a bit more. I'll outline it so that I can see it when I'm brazing. Okay, a little bit of flux and we'll do brazing again. Okay, so round 2, second heat cycle. I didn't really want to do the second one, but obviously we need some more metal, more bronze. Okay, we'll try that. So the dent is basically filled in. There's a couple tiny little marks there, but every frame builder needs a good painter, and if a painter uses high fill primer, it'll fill those in. So I'm going to say that's pretty good. I'm going to grab my belt sander, do a little pass with that. Got the belt sander, 80 grit belt, 1/4 inch wide. So you don't want to hold it at a right angle. You always want to hold it at a 45 or more. And if I press down, can you see how the belt flexes? So that's what I want to do, because as the belt flexes, it's sanding more around the tube. Here we go. So what the belt does, it takes out all of the file marks, and then after that, 80 grit emery cloth. So back and forth, I do a cross hatch. So that's all done. Off to the painter. Hope you enjoyed watching that. See you next week.